I move supplementary order paper number 307, dividing the bill.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Chairman, the Labor Party is going to oppose this particular supplementary order paper because it is our view, Mr Speaker, that it will be appropriate to have such a confused, such a badly drafted, such an ill-advised bill in the most confusing form that it can be, and that will be, Mr Speaker, Mr Chairman, as a result of having a stand-alone piece of legislation, rather than having this in the various bills, as is the intention of the Prime Minister. Get me a copy. Mr Chairman, the really important point with legislation is that it is well drafted, that it is well understood, and that people can easily go from part to part of it. It is really important that as legislation is drafted and as it is divided properly, then the particular sections have in them exactly what is meant to be there. And to do that, Mr Chairman, what is required is for a proper motion for the division. And Mr Chairman, point of order, Mr Chairman.
Point of order, Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Chairman, I just want to question the order of the debate that we're now having, in that it is my understanding for a supplementary order paper to be debated, there is a requirement for it to be on the table of the House. It is my understanding that there is not one of these currently on the table of the House.
The member is correct, and as we speak, copies are being prepared, and it is a debatable motion, and I ask a bit of forbearance while that actually happens.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
I've been seeking a bit of advice on the matter. It is customary to have papers on the table. It does not prevent the debate from occurring. So the member may continue. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Well, speaking to that, or no, speaking to the issue now, Mr Speaker. I think the last time that I can remember an issue being debated in the Parliament without it being on the table of the House was in the time of Muldoon. Because the tradition of the New Zealand Parliament is that if you're debating something, you have the courtesy to tell the House what you're debating. And here we have the principal law officer of the Parliament sitting in for the Prime Minister, who doesn't have the fortitude to come to the House, Mr Speaker, because the government does not get itself properly prepared and have the requisite motions sitting here. Mr Speaker, it is a hopeless, disorganised, useless Parliament. And Mr Speaker, what is so silly is that anyone would think that a damn QC would be bright enough to get out a pen to write something down, to send it out and get the 10 copies and put it in the House. But
I'm sorry to interrupt the member. The time has come to suspend the House and Committee for the dinner adjournment, and I shall resume the chair at 7:30.